computer. All right. So
until she comes. What? There we go. If she comes.
So here we go. Here we start. All right. So I'm going to let you take the lead, and I will do what I do, but I want you basically to do the introduction, the everything.
Okay. Hi.
Hello.
Today we are sitting with Miss Latosha Wilson and myself, Sha Ma Puller. You guys probably know me best, Sha Ma Banks, by my online presence. What we're doing is just we're having simple conversations to introduce ourselves, what we do, and also by doing this, helping other people get to where they're trying to go, whether it's physical success, business success, home harmony, whatever it is. We hope that our conversations, my conversations with the ladies that I introduce you to, will help you in whatever form that you need to hear it. So here we go. Today, we don't really have an agenda. I have some thoughts in my head, so we're going to be surprised, all of us. And here we go. Okay, Miss Latosha Wilson. The thing that's been on my mind is we spoke several times about how both of us have had the experience in the past of trying to help people, trying to give them what we know, and them not really hearing the message. And by doing so, by trying to convince them, by chasing after them, by really wanting to help them, it really just depleted us. It took away our energy. Sometimes it takes away your motivation. It takes away your time. It can impact your home life. You know, it can just throw you completely off track. And now we're finally at the point where we're meeting the people who really need to hear what it is that we have to say, who really need the information that we have. My question for you is, when you were chasing these people, right? How did it impact your home life? You know, between you and your husband, you and your kids. How did you see that really going for you? Like, what did you see happening?
Well, I had some amazing, again, business mentors, and they always talked about having your vertical alignment or your boundaries, right? What are the things that you will do and things that you won't do and things like that? Hello.
Hi.
Had
my sister join us. Okay, why is it blowing her out? There we go.
That's
this is a surprise show of my sister. This is Edia Puller as well.
Edia?
Yeah. She caught me by surprise too. It's okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Why is it blowing out?
Switch keep going the direction you were going. Keep a little bit more. There you go. And so I think because there's two, yeah, you got to both kind of come in a little bit. Because when you stack it, yep.
Come closer.
All right. Well, welcome.
And okay, I'm gonna repeat that question. Hi, Osha. Your mommy and I are gonna have a conversation right now, okay? You go play with Edia with Lenore and watch your tablet, please. Want some chips?
Really quick. Hold on 1 second. Okay, sorry about that.
We could jump on something else when she comes in. So let's just
So let's go back. Yeah, so the question that you ask, and then I'll repeat the question, so then that way you can edit it where you need it to, right?
Yeah.
So when dealing with people that you're trying to help and maybe they don't want, you seem like you're trying to force your help on them, how does it affect my home life? How did that affect different things?
Question.
And so Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, we're gonna repeat the question again.
Go ahead.
When you're dealing with people and you're trying to force your help on them and they don't really want to hear it or not really open to it, how did it affect her home life, like her and her husband's relationship, her and her kids,
Mhm.
etc.?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so when it comes to wanting to help people, and by nature, I'm a helper. It doesn't matter what we're doing. We could be cleaning toilets, we could be pulling weeds, we can be cleaning houses, whatever it is. I enjoy helping and I love doing things together in a group. And because of that, um, there's a lot of people that could take advantage of that. And so I would end up spending a lot of time away from my family because I felt like I was helping people and they really didn't want my help, right? And I end up wasting a lot of time. And so I had mentors that came into my life and they said, you need to put together your, what he called your vertical alignment. It's almost kind of like a funnel system.
Mm.
So for me personally, my beliefs are, I believe, God, like that's my ultimate right there. God, then my husband, then my kids, then my family, and from my family, then my business. And from my business, then there are friends. And so at first, people would be like, like, oh, I'm your friend. And I'm like at the bottom of the list. And it's like, well, not necessarily. If we were to take that through that funnel, if you happen to be a friend and you go to church with me, then you're probably going to see me more than someone who doesn't go to church, right?
Mhm.
Mhm. And then if you are someone who loves business like you, then
Mhm.
you're going to probably see me more and do more with me than someone who is just a friend. I don't, and so those people that I was trying to help, which were my friends or are my friends, I should say, I wanted to help them, but they didn't want what I was receiving. And so it's kind of like the example. I don't know if you guys are even old enough to remember Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Original, right? I got to say the original. And he's going around and saying, like, are you the key master? And he's just running up to random people. Are you the key master? Are you the key master? Are you, like he's asking. And that's what I felt like I did. I had this key, I had this thing that I wanted to give to people. And I was just running up and just asking everybody, like, do you want this? Do you want this? And because of the fact that they really didn't want it, I wasted a lot of time when I should have been more strategic about who I was spending my time with. And when I changed that and had that funnel together, I stopped wasting time, if that makes sense. I stopped wasting time.
Absolutely.
And I wanted to make sure that I asked people, like, what are your goals? Because even if we're not, when I say in alignment, we can be going in the same direction. And there are people that I'd be like, oh, I'm going this way. And here's my train. It's getting ready to leave the station. And I be sitting in the station trying to get people to get on the train and get on the train and get on the train. And I'm not going anywhere because I'm trying to get them on the train because I know that where it's going to take us and it's going to be a good thing and a good destination. And so now I stopped trying to get people to get on my train. Now I'm looking for people and I'm asking them, where's your train going? And if our
Right.
trains are going in the same direction, now I got people that I can run with versus trying to get people to come over to my side of the tracks and go with me. And so that's what I appreciate about our relationship and what we've been able to build over the past just year. It seems like I've known you for a lifetime, but
Right.
because of the things that we have bonded over, we have a very similar belief system about family, about, family above all things, right? Our kids, living the retirement life, as you say, we want to work and have fun doing it, but we don't want to be, uh, yeah, we just want to work and have fun doing it. And we want to do it with people that want to do it with us. And when I made that shift, and it's crazy because once I made that shift in my head, you were one of the very first people that came into my life. So I had literally just removed like a ton of people from my Facebook page.
Mhm.
I unfriended. And I purposely did that because I felt like, they always talk about when you try to hold on to something, you can't receive
Yeah.
anything in addition. So I was like, all right, Lord, if it's your will, I'm going to let it all go and you'll put in place what you want in my life. And once I did that, I went from like 1,000 friends on Facebook down to like 230. And that was mainly of just family and a few people. And as soon as that happened, then the people started to come into my life. I started to attract what I wanted versus, trying to, run around and give away, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, it makes 100% sense.
Yeah.
I want to ask you the same. Like, how did it make you feel?
I about to say everything she said, I could basically tell you in my own way because I kind of figured all of that out somewhat. It was a time because I'm one of those two. I like to help and do and put smile on people's faces and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And when you realize that you even really hit that rock place and none of them people here, and you realize how much you pour into people, when you realize if you put even half that into yourself, I will be so much further. Like, I want to be here way further because with other people, if they come to me, I can see your whole life, how to get you money, how to do this, how to do that, how to do that. But I got to do the same for myself. And like you said, how can you give to other people if your cup ain't full, So even the part you're talking about with different people, I always help people and took them in. And because, if you have friends, you want them on the same level as you, right? You want to see everybody do good. And everybody ain't that person. So I had to think of it like this. Who will work at McDonald's? Who will take out the trash? Who will do any of that? You need people for them positions. And some people is okay where they are. So even when I had an office and we having interviews and we're trying to find people because we need workers, and like you said, it's not adding up because you got to ask what's the goals. Like my train of thought.
So you got McDonald's workers, you got people who you're interviewing, and now you got to figure out if they're on the same path as you, pretty much.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you're going to be wasting your time and it's going to be repeating cycles and you're not really learning from your lessons. And you got to leave them where they at because when you do pray, like I was just even telling my niece, if you have your interview, right, and you have 20 people there, and if you end up with 1 or 2 people, you still really, really good. You got a good person out of that whole bunch, And I was telling her even people where it's like, I went in my sister's room and she got a whole shelf and this little boxes with shoes, right? And I realized that people are like boxes of shoes. Some you're gonna wear every day, some you're gonna wear sometimes, some you're gonna wear raggedy and just throw on, some gonna have old. Like you're gonna put them in different positions and different outfits. You might wear one time. So people is like that. And instead of hating people and being angry with them, you're attracting that back to yourself. So even if people did me wrong, I wish you the best. But now I put you in them shoe boxes. So even if I see you once out of 10 years, I speak. But we're not, no harm, we're not friends. I realize we're not friends. It's like relationship. You can't love nobody more than they love you or being a friend more than they are to you. And you realize that you that person. It go hand in hand with no thinking, no effort, any of that.
The one thing that I found about this is that once you make that switch, then it's a lot easier to do for everybody else.
Yeah.
And then because you're happy and you content with the things that you've checked off for yourself, for your family, and anything you do for anybody else is a plus. And so you doing it open-heartedly, whether it comes back or not, you don't care. Because you've already taken care of yourself. You've already taken care of your home, your kids, your life. And when you take care of somebody else, it don't hurt my feelings if you can't come pick up my kids. I don't need you to. My kids are taken care of, Yeah. It don't, before when I used to give, when I used to chase after people and, just try so hard to help them. And some people took it and used it and abused it. Some people couldn't even take it because that's not where they were in life to be able to receive it. And they just probably listened to you because they thought they were doing you a favor, And wasting all that time and all that energy, time is more rich than money. Because if I have more time, I can make way more money. Okay. If I have more time, I can put way more into my relationships that are important. But when you stealing my time, or when I can't even say stealing, when I was giving it away willingly for free to all of these people, I was resentful because my life wasn't taken care of. I was giving money to my family and stuff, and then I would be angry because My bills weren't paid.
And you realize everybody's doing okay, and you over here.
And yeah, like here I am, I done paid people bills and stuff, and now my credit card taking me a year to pay off, you know? But then when I took care of myself, and I know that my stuff is taken care of, when I have an extra 100, 200, or whatever it is that they need and I give it to them, I don't care if you give it back to me or not. Now, some people I want it back on principle. Let's make this very clear. Some people I want even the 2 cents that comes with that $20. If I gave you $20.02, I want $20.02.
Mommy,
Yeah.
why did I also get those chips?
But like you were saying, you know how you said you praying to God or you just send the right people. I believe in that because it's like when you go looking for a relationship, you don't get it, you know. But when you let go, our problem is as human beings, we try and control everything, and we realize we can't control anything. Even so far as my baby, I want a baby for like forever, and I got him when God wanted me to have him. So even as far as relationship, it's gonna work out when it needs to, not a day before, not a day after. You know, everything happened with timing. You know, so I believe if you pray for it and just let go, God gonna send the right people. But if you forcing it, it's gonna always be the wrong people.
Yep.
When
it feels easy, you know, I relate a lot of this to, you know, your health and things like that. People like, you know, dieting or whatever, that should like be hard. And if it's hard, you're not giving your body exactly what it needs. And so as soon as you let go and give your body exactly what it needs and you start to listen to your body, then it feels easy. It should be easy because like that's the way we were designed, right? To crave the good stuff. And you know, and going back to earlier when you were talking, what it reminded me of is when we are out helping people, they, you know, it is said that you do for others what you want in return, right? And so, because, you know, it's like, you know, you treat others the way you want to be treated. And I know for me, I want somebody to be authentic with me. I want somebody to be honest with me. I want somebody to be real with me. I want someone to challenge me. And, you know, I realized I had a lot of people in my life that did a lot of praising and, you know, a lot of flattery, but there was no one that could speak truth and love, right? And so that's been the thing that I've been working on myself because, and this is one of the things that my mentor said to me. I used to be like, oh, I got these haters, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, you know, you attract what you are. And I was like, okay. But when I started to look at it, then I was just like, oh, well, maybe I'm hating on people, you know, subconsciously and not even realizing that I'm doing it. And so I had to check my thoughts. So when you talked about, where was I going with it? Where it starts when you take care of everything first. So when I take care of this first and I put good input here, then I'm good. And when I'm good, then I can then go work on me and my husband. And when then we're good, now I can go me and my kids. Now we're good. Now my household. If we're good, now I can go out to my community. Those are the things, but it all starts here first. And when they always say you can't change anybody else, the only thing you can do is change yourself. When you start to think differently, you know, as I say, you think different, you act different, you become different, and then you see the difference.
You know, on that same topic, I literally just told her, I said, I realized that I was truly powerful and truly changed when even my husband couldn't knock me off my block. And what I mean by that is my husband is my number one fan, okay? My husband got my back 100% more than anybody on this earth, more than my parents, more than anybody, okay? But at the same time, my husband is still human. And just because I say things one way does not mean that he sees it that way, you know? And it could be right for me, but not right for him. Or maybe it's right for him and he just don't see it yet.
It's timing.
You know, exactly. Like that point,
like, even with energies, you want to tell them about energies and numbers. Like for the longest, my sister kept trying to get me into manifest and listen to stuff. And I'm like, no. And I finally got to that place that I was like, anything that's going to help me. And the moment I started doing it, it changed my life and opened it up to a whole another world, you know? So
with that though, is that when I realized I was strong enough to take criticism or to take somebody not agreeing with me and still do what I'm meant to do. You get what I mean? Like, still not let that demotivate me or knock me off of the task or the goal that I'm supposed to be accomplishing, because he may not get it today. It may be something that comes to him a year later. For example, like our retail company, you know, I opened up our retail company a year before we actually did something with it. And it took a year before my husband really got involved, you know? And it wasn't that he didn't agree with me, it wasn't that he didn't see it. It's just that we couldn't communicate appropriately at that time to see that we were on the same track, to see that we were trying to do the same thing. You know, so if I would have been demotivated by what he was telling me, because my husband is more of a realist, you know, I'm more of a dreamer. But if I would have been demotivated, then when he finally came up with oh, we should do a business, it would have took us a whole nother year. You know, so when I realized that the person who's around me 24/7 could not deter me off of the goal that God has me here for, then it makes me realize there's nobody else in the world that can come and deter me. And that made me realize how truly powerful I am in this moment in time. You know, and my husband, he's there for a purpose. Because if it wasn't for him, I would have wasted way more time and money. He made me think of all of the things that I should have been thinking before I even opened the company. So he didn't demotivate me, he didn't deter me, he made me think and not just be a reactionary to my internal excitement. Oh, let's open another company. You know, okay, when I open this company, what exactly am I gonna do? You know, and so it made me think, why am I opening this company? And I realized I opened this company because, one, when you have a business, right, even if you don't know what you're doing, you could already start writing off everything that you're doing. And my locksmith business was making too much money anyway. So I knew we would need another source to start writing things off that we were doing anyway. You know, we were talking about this stuff, we were visiting stuff, we were buying stuff, we were doing it anyway. Why not get the write-offs for it to help us financially on our whole goal? And then secondly, then when we finally had the idea on what we were gonna sell, that everything was already in place.
Yep.
That's like, you know, somebody, I know you know her Changa, ayahuasca, or whatever. That's like me telling my friend, you know, oh, you should do the ceremony, it's gonna help you out, really good for you. But until she mentally prepared for that and want to go face that, it got to be on her own terms. Like, time, it could be another year, and I'm like, thank you for letting me come. I had somebody like that, but at that time they wasn't ready or ready to face that.
Yeah.
And then back to the other subject is, for me, at this point in my life, is breaking generational cycles. You know, like,
Yep.
like it's everything to me, because when I went to some healing retreat, I realized that it was me looking at pictures and looking at my mom and all of that, and looking at us as babies, and it's like we all look miserable and sad and not happy. And I'm like, damn, it started from her and to the rest of us. So it had to go before her and before her. But you can't reach these people, they are not around or whatever. Even my mom, I learned my mom will be my mom no matter what I tell her. A choice are choices. So at the end of the day, it starts with me. And I know the things that I went through that I don't want my son to go through. So every day, I ain't gonna say it's a challenge or a battle, but it's my goal every day to try and be the happiest and the best that I can for him. Because even right now, I have no hate in my heart for anybody who did me wrong. I wish them the best, like you said, karma or attracting things to you. Even people who did me the dirtiest, it was to the point that I could probably even say hey to you or wish you the best, because I know what I want to attract. And I named my son Happiness Ocean, so I gotta live up to that, you know. And then go back to the before that about doing things for people. It was one part of my life that I was doing a lot for people and doing it on the go, even when I go back home to visit. And there was a moment that came to me that I realized that people like, you think you like doing this stuff, but you really don't. And at that point, I realized that because I was angry and depressed and all of that, that was me getting away from me. So me being busy and helping everybody else or going on vacations, I didn't have enough time to think about myself. So every time I get down, I back to my depression, back to me, and it's just temporarily. So I didn't like to do that. No, it was just me to escape and to run away from my own problems. But once I face it, I'm all good now.
You know, this your first time meeting my sister, and hearing all of these things, it just makes my heart smile because she has grown so much. We're only less than 12 months apart. We're the same age for 13 days. We have another twin. She has a twin, and we're all the same age for 13 days. And
I was angry.
it's a
I was
huge
bitter. Excuse my
difference.
language. I was a bitch.
She was definitely a bitch growing up, okay?
But like I was that person.
She blackmailed all of us. She made my life a living hell growing up.
Therapy helped, and the fact that even though you don't like to go through these things in life, a lot of times it's necessary, and you appreciate it, even though it's messed up, because it made you take them steps. So if I never would have hit that spot where I just depressed and couldn't get on my bed and that, it wouldn't make me want to ask for help. So that's when I started seeing a therapist, and honestly, I see the changes, and I love the person I am. And even back then, when I look at myself, and you be thinking about like, why I ain't got no man, or why I'm not married, and I think about the person I wouldn't have dated myself because my self-esteem was low. Like I didn't think I was the cutest, or this and this and that. Now I don't really care too much what people think. It's all about me, and somebody gonna come in and they gonna love everything about me because I know the stuff I could do, like you said, even doing cooking, cleaning, surprising you, like bringing lunch. I would love to do all that to put a smile on your face. But
and she's a businesswoman. She's a boss bitch. Okay, let's put that out there. She don't realize
like
how
I know I'm gonna be that person, but it's taken me a while to, even though I said that, to really believe it, myself. And I know whoever that person is, they're gonna really appreciate everything that nobody else ever did.
On this topic, I actually have another question. It's gonna take us a whole different route, maybe the same route, but how do you recognize, right, if this person is really worth your investment or not? And let me give some background to this. When me and my husband, we were growing our locksmith business, we butted heads a lot, right? And at the time, I was very hormonal because I had just had my baby. And it probably would have demotivated me, right? Like, it was so stressful at the time for me to do what I knew that I was strong at for our business, because he was so powerful and so confident in the things that he was saying. But I was so wishy-washy with my emotions, with, the whole having the baby, nursing, and all of that. But the one thing that saved me was thinking about how in the corporate world, in my last position that I did, that it took 3 years for the change that I had brought about in this company, because my job was to change the company and how they function with respect to how they process materials and labor and money for a project to install a machine at our customer site, right? But it took 3 years of behind. No, it wasn't just that. You got thousands of people, but female didn't help, and my personality didn't help, But chasing after people, trying to convince them that this was the right way to do it. To after 3 years now, they're chasing after me, asking me how to do it because they know it makes their lives easier. And then it clicked to me: how can I expect my husband to understand me overnight and to fall right into what it is that I'm trying to do if he's never done this, never seen this in his life? Like, he knows how to do locksmith, but as far as like projection, planning, long-term, where we were, where we're going, having spreadsheets, what the tax is going to look like, how to invest in this to get your money back, all those things. I would write PowerPoints and they were in vain. Like, and I'm over here crying, like, I'm doing all this work and they're not listening to me. Like, you get what I mean? Like, yes, it was my husband, so I had no choice but to figure this out. But there's other people who may be worth that same investment in your life. How do you easily make that discernment? Like, does it click for you right away? Or is it outside of your husband and your kids and maybe your business partner, are there no other people that fall into that category?
It don't click. I feel like you got to pray to God for the right person, because think about all the people we run into our life, relationship, friends, long-term friends, 20-year friends. And you think you know them, and you think they're the person, you think you ain't gonna never stop being friends. Life be life, like they say, right? So it's really just praying to God. And at that point, all you gotta say is, God, they meant to be in my life, bring them. They're not, please remove them out of my life. And honestly, he did that.
He removes
at the
so
craziest
many
time
people
of my
so
life.
fast.
And it's the point, like, I'm crying, but I'm saying thank you. And I'm so happy. Like,
Mhm.
thank you. Like, I needed this. Like, I asked for this. You know, I prayed about this. So you really gotta just pray on people.
So do you think so I think the answers might be a little bit different because like I am married, so I have a choice with my husband, you know?
Yeah.
You're married.
Mhm.
You might not have a choice with your husband, but some people are married and they don't work with their husbands, you know? They don't have that. They go to 2 different jobs and that's it. You know, maybe it's different because we're entrepreneurs and we have a partner that we have to be
And then y'all
entrepreneur
came
with.
together like that, though. Like, you know, like,
Mhm.
but I was around during that time.
Mhm.
And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like to see my sister like that, because had she just said all of that, that's some BS. First of all, she the oldest. She always had her shit together. Business, whatever. Even with her going to school, I didn't go to school, let her go to school. She made sure everybody else was good. You know, she took in brothers. Like, her thing is, anytime somebody come around, she gonna lift you up. She gonna take you to the next step. You know,
Mhm.
she that motivation. Like, she said she business mind. She have ideas. Some of them might not be that great sometimes, or she just happy go lucky and go with it. She might take some losses, but she's not gonna stop. And she have really good ideas, and she's smart. And I love her husband, don't get me wrong, but I don't like when people how you feeling like that when you know your shit and you've been knowing your shit for 30 some years, and it take one person to have you doubting yourself.
Mhm.
You know, like when she know all the time. And Sha Ma, when I did a little thing, I told her, I said, I seen you and you was like, I'm the shit, you know, and I'm like, that sounds just like her. So to even had that little bit of doubt, or somebody that had that room, I didn't like that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's definitely understandable. There's like a few things that popped in my head, so I'm gonna try to remember them all. One of the things that I had to learn was, how do I communicate exactly how I'm feeling? Because sometimes we have, I said, we have the hardest picture, and I got this from my sister-in-law. She said, I have a picture in my head, and I got to try to communicate and put that picture in your head. And that's not easy to do. And so when you get with someone who has a similar picture, it's almost like we can finish each other's sentences. And that's why I feel like our pictures are very similar. Whereas, you know, this is me and Ella Sha Ma, we're like, oh, we got this. This is how our pictures are like. And then here's our husbands. We're like this, like those pictures don't match up, you know, kind of thing. And so that's where and so when they start to question things, they're questioning from a place probably, and if I think about myself, I'm questioning from a place of insecurity, because I don't understand. And nobody wants to be vulnerable enough to say, you know what? I don't get it. I don't understand what you're trying to tell me. And I'm questioning, not because I'm trying to tear you down. I had to realize that with my husband, and I had to share that with him. When I'm asking you something, it's not because I'm questioning you. It's because you have a picture in your head and I don't see that picture. So help me learn that picture. And I think people have the curse of knowledge. You know something. I always say this. How do you explain Disneyland to someone who doesn't have a concept of what Disneyland looks like?
You gotta scoot down to somebody's level sometimes. Y'all ain't gonna never see the same page, just same eye.
Yeah, but even if you scoot down, if you don't know how to explain it in a like working for Intel or for ASML, how hard was it for you to explain to the everyday person what you did for work?
Yeah. And so what I've had to learn how to do is I've had to learn how to use this is a gift that I feel like God has given me, storytelling ability. And so I take something that's known and I overlay it over the thing that I need to teach them so that they get the
So
concept.
like if somebody like basketball and a lesson, you can try to put it in that term,
Yes.
because that's how they're gonna relate to get
Mhm.
that to
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
Okay.
it took me, my husband, I was having a whole, there's a good example. I was having a whole meltdown with him because I was so tired. And I'm like, why is it that it automatically falls on me to wake the kids up in the morning, to take them to school, to do this, to do that, when they have two parents? You could get up, you get to sleep in, yada, yada, yada. And he's like, what is it that you need from me? He did not, and I went from like one bad thing to another, and I just went, and I was like, and I'm tired, and I'm this, and I'm that. And he's like, I need to know what you need from me. Like, you still not telling me what you need from me.
We don't
And
like
in
to
that
tell, but you
moment,
gotta tell them A to
I
Z.
could not explain to him what I need. I went to sleep. I woke up the next day and I told him, I said, I need one day that I don't have to get up. That if I want to get up, I can go anywhere I want to, that you're not going to make me feel like no certain kind of way. I need one day that I know that it doesn't fall, that you get it.
Mhm.
And when I said that, then Friday I was able to go to wake up, so no problem. I was able to go hang out with Latasha. Even if wasn't sleeping, I was pretending to be asleep. I could just be lazy, But it took me 4 years to tell him that.
But can I say something on the outside looking in between? Okay, the one who not married and all that and see them, but even with my twin sister, okay, she's married too. I'm happy they are with somebody and they love them and I love their spouses. But the thing is, getting married fast and hooking up fast where you don't have that time to actually really get to know them, because I see Edia, and that's my twin sister, and I see how her relationship when it was and complaining about this, and this, and this. Now her husband is like all our men, basically. Like, he come through for all of us. So things she can do without no problem. And this is over the years and stuff like that. Like, I love him. I actually happy to call him my brother-in-law, which I don't do that with too many people, And even with her, like, I don't spend too much time with her to see or hands-on. But I know when you first meet somebody, of course you don't know them, they don't know you, and it's gonna come a lot of things. But as time coming, you see they still married to this day. They still married to this day. They actually come together, learn each other, and figure out how to compromise. So
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
to kind of go back to your original question, how do you have that discernment, right?
Mhm.
When you are, and I'm a big book reader, and one of the books that I read is called The Gift of Fear, right?
Mhm.
There is something that is in your internal,
Oh,
like
okay.
in a snap, they always say go with your first instinct, because usually it's right. And what happens is we have that thought, and then what do? We rationalize it away
Yeah.
and we push it away. And so what I've been learning to do is I'm learning to, when I have this kind of any type of feeling, because when things feel easy, normal, it feels good, you're happy. And as soon as I feel that like little resistance, it could be something that feel like a little brush on the cheek, and I'll stop and I'm like, why did I feel that? What was it? Was it a finger? Like, what was it? And so even with us sitting down before this meeting, there was something in me that I had to be able to explain to you. Like, it wasn't you. There was something in me that I was feeling, and I had to express that to you. And so we were short on time. When I say short on time, I was just like, okay, I got to be able to explain this in a way, but I know that you love me, I love you. We've built up such a trust and a connection that I knew that I could be honest with you and say, this is what I'm feeling. And then what happened? Here's this picture in my head. And then you say, you know what? I have that same picture in my head. So I'm already on the same page with you. And we came in and now we sit down and we're getting to work. It didn't turn into this huge thing. I knew that you weren't going to be mad at me, or our friendship was going to be over because we had a
that security, like, you don't have to think or doubt. Like,
yeah.
it's natural. Like, again, back in the day, when you got in a relationship, how easy was it? You didn't have to say, "Are in a relationship? Do you want to date me? Do you like me? Why you don't?" You get together, are liking each other, you dating, is that. Nowadays, you do that. Oh no, you're a whole nother thing. You got to be discussed. We got to be on the same page. Like, why can't it be so effortless and natural? So when that person come along, it is gonna happen that way.
Yeah.
Anybody else, you gotta force how to love and what to do. And I did that for a long time. I don't want that.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, that's not gonna work. I never get what you never gonna get what you want. Never.
Yeah.
And so,
Oh,
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say real quick, just going back to like that discernment that you were talking about, you have that inside of you, and just listening and leaning into that. And oh, this is why I was going to go with that real quick. I always say, this is my little test when I'm working with people. If I invite you to something and you don't RSVP,
Yeah.
I already know I can't trust you.
Really? Sometimes I don't got to RSVP because you know me already. I'm not close. I just show up.
No, but that's
No.
if you have that relationship, but you've maybe RSVP verbally or said something,
Yeah,
you have that confidence in that relationship.
Yeah.
But the new people.
The new people, if there's brand new and I sit and I invite you to something and you don't respond to the RSVP, or you don't say no to it, or just whatever, I always say I can't trust that person, because if you can't tell me something as a yes, or because most people don't like to say no.
Yes or no, yeah.
They want to, they feel like they have to have an excuse to say no. And no is a complete sentence. No, period. You don't have to provide any type of reason
But
why.
your true friends, like you say, you could be straight honest. It don't matter. You can
Yeah.
say no, and
Yeah.
you will be okay.
You'll
Other
be
people who
okay.
are not really your friends and lying about, nah. You got to think about hurting their feelings, nah.
No. So for me, when I am working with someone, I want to get them to the point where they can tell me no right away. I'm going to keep on asking, and I'm going to keep on doing the thing. And when we get to a thing where it's finally time for them to say no, and if they can't tell me no, then that's my cue, because it's just like, if you can't tell me no for something as simple as RSVPing to a party, how are you going to tell me something when it's really serious?
That's true, but I get that part. But I was one of those who felt strongly about no, because if I can do it, I'm never going to tell you no. And I hated the word no. But hold on, let me get to it.
Mm-hmm.
So even her, she used to be like, and I even know she noticed about me. She was like, I don't know why you're saying no. You know, you're going to feel guilty and turn around and do it anyways, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that was me. But as time went on, I actually became happy and okay. You know, I don't like it sometimes, depending on what it is, but I came more accepting and okay with no, because it was really hard, like, to even say no for anything, you know, because I want somebody to do it for me. I don't want nobody telling me no. But it made it easier once I became okay with somebody telling me no. What? I can tell you no with no problem. You just gave me the green light and not feel guilty about nothing. I'm okay with you telling me no, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
But you know,
I'm okay with no too now.
a lot of reasons why people don't want to tell you no is because they feel guilty, or they feel a certain kind of way. And it's almost like rewiring them to understand that it's okay to say no, that if you tell me no, then I can move on and go to what I need to go to get that yes. If you're not the one who can do it for me, I can get someone else that can. And time is of the essence. So if you tell me no now, I can automatically start working towards that yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But back to you was talking about
hold that thought, but back to that yes and no. And some people won't tell you no because they want to keep you stuck.
Exactly.
So that's what I was
gonna say. Keep you on a leash.
Mm-hmm.
But back to your other thing about the discernment, I think there's another level to that too with certain people, which is that pure love. Okay? I know for a fact that you love me on the same level that I love you. Now, you may show it differently, but you love me so much that I know in my heart and in my mind and in my soul that you will never do nothing to intentionally hurt me. And because of that, it doesn't matter what you do or what anybody says to me about you that you may have said about me, that will make me second guess anything that you do. It will make me come and ask you, what did you mean? What did you do? You know? And that type of security makes it to where I feel comfortable investing in you in the long term, whether it takes me a year to explain something to you or not, because you're worth it. Because I know that you would do the same thing for me. Mm-hmm. You know, and that in itself gives me peace. Mm-hmm. That in itself allow me to freely continue to love you and pour into you. Mm-hmm. And that discernment came first. Mm-hmm. But with that discernment, that pure love, there's a handful of people who I know I never have to second guess them. And when that clicked for me, it made it so easy to really distinguish who is Team Ellie. Who can I do 100% for Team Ellie that other people like, okay, they need a reservation, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I reserve a spot for Latosha no matter what. Whether she come or not come, I reserve it. If she can't come, I know it's a good reason. Everybody else, if you can't come, you better have a reason, you know?
You know, and along those lines, it's, my husband had talked about this, or I read it somewhere, is when you are, they don't, when you're looking like at $100 bill and counterfeit and things like that, they don't study the fake.
Right.
They study the real thing so that they can spot the fake. And so when you
Exactly.
have the real thing in friendship and relationship, all those things, it makes it easier to spot the fake, even though it could look, I mean, it to everybody else knows like, no, that is it. That's it. There is something in your spirit, in your gut that you absolutely, so that's where that discernment comes from. You got to study the truth, the real, the authentic to be able to spot that fake.
You got to go through it. You got to go through it. You got to have your heart broke. You got to notice all the red signs. That's the only way you're going to learn. What they say, you ain't going to be successful unless you fail. That's when you're going to keep trying.
You know,
and
failure is not, it's not really a failure if you learn from it, you know? Yeah. I have to say this because I know we got 3 minutes before this ends. Edia, I'm so proud of you. It took some convincing for her to do this. She said, I'm not that good at this. I said, you got this. And then in a year or two from now, this interview is going to help you. And the only way to get better at something is to actually do it. You know, let's stop thinking about it. Let's just do it. And you've done incredible. Yeah. I know you say you go in circles, but the way that you've explained yourself, you made it. If somebody can't understand me or they can't understand Latosha, now we have a third person who gave their point of view who might understand it in a shoe perspective, you know? And your insight is very, very important to me. I don't think that I could be the person who I am today if it wasn't for my siblings, if it wasn't for my parents, and, you know, everybody played a part, you know, just how she said, you know, from the outside looking in, I have my shit together, you know?
But we don't give ourselves enough credit. Like, it takes other people to kind of remind you, you know, like, even me, you're doing an amazing job. You're a good mother. You know, we're going to always doubt that we can do more. But hearing that from somebody else, it makes you happy and know that you're actually on the right track.
Yeah.
I'm very, 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 very thankful this girl came through when I had my baby, when my husband, you know, we didn't communicate appropriately and I felt like a prisoner, but I had to learn that my insecurities were my own. And now that I'm so confident in who I am, if I leave or don't leave the house, if I travel or don't travel, whether he say yes or no, like at the end, it's my decision. You know, he can't really lock me up nowhere. But making that decision wholeheartedly myself is the one that makes the difference.
You know, one of the things, I don't know if I got enough time, I might go out, but one of the things that I was working on this year that hit me is like, stop caring what other people think. And I was just telling my niece, because we have one life to live. And when you die, you want to die being a fake person that you never really got to experience your whole true self. So even when I'm dancing or doing stuff and I think for a second, no, let me have my fun. Let me enjoy this. I don't care about none of these people. I might not even see them tomorrow. I don't care. I'm here to have fun.
Yeah.
Well, live that retirement life now. You're going to hear that in everything we talk about. We live in our retirement life now. We are living it to the fullest. We are those people that our lives is happy with sad occasions, not sad with happy occasions. Can I get an amen on that? I'm pretty sure that that's where we all are right now. My life is freaking amazing. And I wake up so thankful every day. Latosha, you're amazing. I'm so happy that we see eye to eye, that, you know, you came on, like you said, you had this picture in your head, you needed to transfer to me, and I already had that vision, you know? And so I love the fact that we could just be so honest with each other, that, oh, and that you're just as sexy as I am. Man, you know how hard I was looking for somebody.
And then you have everybody on the day who go through this. So it would, you know, even somebody listening to this and just different experiences, like, that's like, you don't want to open up to nobody about depression. And then when you go through it, you see other people you respect them for that they actually can go through it and talk about it and overcome it, and you know you're not in it alone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I know it'll be a motivation for a lot of people.
Yes. And that's what I was going to say. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here, because I know Elia Sha Ma, she is very convincing. And
I said, this is a setup. I don't know what I'm gonna say. I don't just speech. I don't get on no
yes,
camera. She's
yes,
like, gonna be good. I said, that don't mean nothing. You think you're trying to convince me? Like, no heads up, like nothing. Like, just come on. Like, what are you talking about?
but
Honestly, I don't do this. Like,
yeah.
I'm not a camera. It's just the attention. No, I don't do that.
But you did fantastic. And as Elia Sha Ma was saying, there are going to be people that's your message, the way you talk, the way you look, everything, they're going to resonate with you. And that's the thing that I had to learn about myself. God created me in such a way that's unique. And my uniqueness is what makes me valuable, because no one can say it like I do. No one can do it like I do. And I want to share that with you and encourage you to say the exact same thing. And this right here has just blessed me, because I had so much fun. And I'm hoping that you guys do something with just the two of you guys. You just get the camera going while you're there, because from a sister's point of view, again, right? Because a lot of sisters, they might butt heads. And I was just thinking like, oh my gosh, it'd be so cool if I had my sister sitting here next to me, you know?
We did.
So,
But not as kids, we butt
as
heads.
kids. Oh, yeah.
But as adults being in America, I'm gonna be real. From day one, like this girl, when I have a job, she would bring me home stuff. When Shay have a job, I would bring her stuff.
I have allowance. Can I have?
She did, because I had the job the longest, you know. So I would give her money every month. But like, for example, she got in a car accident. They gave her money for it. She came home. She said, "Sha Ma, here's $900." And this was after us being homeless and everything. Like, we only had each other. And we had two other sisters, but when it came to her, it was a lot more effortless. You know, the rest of my sisters, we kind of grew up and got it to where it's effortless. But initially, it felt like it was me and her against the world. And so I appreciate that.
I don't know if I could. I think I want to end this like this. I know she said 2-3 minutes that been passed, but I went through some experience. Like, I did a China session, and it had me really emotional and crying and happy at the same time. And it told me I passed life tests. And I was like, that's the hardest test ever. And I'm one of those who get nervous. I like to take tests, not a school person. So I was just shocked. It was like all the work and effort and everything that I put into myself and really been keeping doing it. Like, I can't believe that I actually really passed life test. Like, it actually make me emotional now. Like, wow, I did this.
You're sitting right here. This is in itself shows that you not only passed, but you just keep elevating. You know, you said you didn't do this. This is not something that you did, and you did it.
Well,
so you can't say you don't do it no more.
All righty. Well, thank you, Elia Sha Ma, for having me. Thank you for this time.
Nice to meet you.
Appreciate it. So, but I gotta go.
Okay.
All righty.
Bye.
Okay. And I'll send you this later.
Okay.
Bye. Bye.